What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's analysis. We're going to be looking at ETH today. ETH USD, you can see we're breaking out of this downtrend that's been established since December 2021, November 2021. We've had one touch here, two touches, three. We've had our fourth one, but now we broke out of this structure, surpassing these wicks over here, which were key levels that we wanted to see broken. And when you take a look at the weekly, you can see that it looks like we almost got a retest of that level. I don't know if we can count that as a retest or not, but it is pushing higher. And we got a weekly close. And prior to that, we didn't get any of those off of these moves here. And you can see that as well over here. We didn't get any weekly closes. We just got rejected and pushed down through those moves. We'll see where it takes us, but it is looking pretty solid. And then when you zoom out on a mass scale, you can see we just have a major bull pennant. This is a massive bull pennant. I don't know if this measured move is going to play out, because I don't want to get anybody excited. But just off of measured moves, I mean, this is insane. It's a much higher valuation. I don't know when or if that's ever going to happen, but that's a very aggressive move. And if you put it over here, then it takes you way up there. But this is very bullish, I would say. And if we were to measure it a little bit lower, still an insane move when you look at the measured move. I'm not saying that's going to play out. I don't want anybody coming for me. But that's just what the technicals are saying. If that was a breakout point, or if that was a bottom and we measure it out, that's where it takes us. Not saying this is going to happen. Maybe it does happen over the course of the next 2 cycles or something crazy. It might take a longer time for that to play out. But it is looking very bullish right now. The most bullish it's looked in a while. And when you take a look here, if we can get a close on the 3-month, that's going to be incredibly bullish. So if you just draw this zone here, you can actually see if we were to hold this key level right here from 40.78 to about 37.13, that's going to be the most bullish thing we've seen on ETH probably ever, because the next move would be a retest of the structure and a move up higher on the 3-month. And this is a very powerful chart to look at. The 3-month is insanely strong. And you can actually see when you look at the 3-month on the SMA, all we have is a 20 because, I mean, it's 3 months for every single candle. So we only have a 20 SMA, but you can see we normally don't spend too much time underneath the 3-month. Usually we bounce off of it and we shoot up higher. We close underneath here, pushed a little bit further down, and now we just got to bounce and a skyrocket off of the 3-month 20 moving average. So that's a very bullish sign. And we'll take a look at the monthly. You can see that we fell underneath our 20 and our 50, but now we got a V-shaped recovery above, and we're holding well above those as well. The weekly is incredibly bullish. You have the 20 surpassing the 200 here, and it's about to overtake the 50, which is going to be even more bullish. And when you take a look at the daily, we're riding the 20 for a confirmed move up and a nice confirmed trend. You can see that trend being established here with these lows. It is looking incredibly nice right now. We'll see if we can sustain this move, because we have a secondary trend line that's even more vertical, but that's more than likely going to get broken, and we'll probably fall back to the original one and continue that trend higher. But it is looking very bullish, especially on the SMAs, as you can see. On the monthly SMA, be wary that we are at the top. And the last time we were at the top, we got rejected. We got rejected over here. We got rejected over here. So almost every time that we've been at the top, we found rejection. But understand that we have seen moves where we're hugging the red band all the way up on an aggressive move. So if this is a real legit move, then we should be able to hug the red band all the way up without having to worry about it. But I also want you to understand that we are at the red band where we have seen rejection prior. And on the weekly, it's pretty much the same concept. So I want you to understand that we are at the outer bands on the upside. On the weekly RSI, we're in overbought territory. We have a nice trend on the upside. You can see that there, pretty well established, pretty vertical. We'll see if we continue sideways until we hit it and continue to move higher. Last time we got a green shaded move was in February, and prior to that was 2020, 2021, and April 21. So it's been a while since we've had a solid overbought move. We already touched it once. This is either going to be a double top or this is going to turn into a bull flag and continue higher. On the daily, we got a nice little V-shaped recovery, and we'll see if this can continue up higher. We're holding well above our yellow moving average, and like I said, the trend is intact right now, higher highs and higher lows. On the monthly MACD, we're looking very good as we just got our green flip for the first time since January 2025 to November 2024. That was the last time we got any green candles, and prior to that was December 2023 to September 2024. And we got a nice aggressive move over there with the blue surpassing the orange moving average. So it's a very, very bullish sign. Hopefully the trend can continue. And here on the weekly, you can see that it's well established in the bullish direction, and momentum is starting to climb higher as ETH is slowly starting to outperform Bitcoin. And we'll go over that in a second as well. You can see the volume is starting to kick up a little bit on ETH as it was pretty much dead over here for an extended period. When you look at this line, we're holding well underneath this line for a while, and now we're starting to play above it a little bit, little by little. So we'll see if the trend can continue and we can start seeing some nice green candles to the upside for aggressive volume days and get this thing moving much higher. You need this. You need ETH to outperform Bitcoin, and then you need the trickle down effect to happen to the smaller coins and so on. So you want Bitcoin to start performing well, then ETH, then Solana, and all the way down to Doge, and then to like Floki coin and all that other garbage. Now, when we take a look at ETH Bitcoin, you can see that this thing is actually trending higher now, seriously. So we had an aggressive move to the downside, and now this thing is ripping to the upside after a very, very long downturn. And when we look at the fib, we can see that off of this leg, we are coming to the 0.5 to the 618. So you have to understand that and be wary that we could find some kind of sideways chop in terms of ETH either underperforming or performing the same as Bitcoin temporarily before this can continue higher. Ideally, what you want to see for ETH, a break above the structure and a bounce to continue that trend higher. And on a smaller time frame, we've already done what I just said on a smaller level because we have this zone here. So this was a bearish leg, right? This is a bearish pull. And we have our 0.5 to 618. And then we did exactly what I just said we need to do on the smaller time frame. So we did like step one pretty much. So that was this bearish move right here. We bounced above it, got our bounce to the upside, and now we're holding that. So that's a very bullish sign. But like I said, the major one that we have to break is the golden zone that's associated with this leg. And after that, I think it's going to be a real fun time to be an ETH holder, because once you break that major golden zone up here, you're also breaking this downward sloping trend line. So now you're breaking this downtrend and the golden zone, and now it's pretty much potentially time to ride up very aggressively, and then you wouldn't have to worry about another major key level of rejection until around 34, and then after that major level you'd have to worry about a major zone here. Those are the next levels after you break that golden zone. That's going to be it has a trajectory towards the downside. When we look at the SMAs, you can see that the 20-month SMA could serve as a level of resistance in confluence with that golden zone, so be aware of that. And on the weekly, we are finding a bounce off of our 50-week SMA as support, and that's going to be holding price up for sure. That's a very, very strong level. So I could definitely see ETH continuing to outperform Bitcoin, at least temporarily. And on the daily, we have a nice trend established. Higher highs, higher lows, holding the 20, 50 is holding pretty well, and the 50 just surpassed the 200. So it's looking pretty bullish for ETH, Bitcoin overall, and ETH. We'll see if this can continue trickling down through the entire crypto market, and then eventually we can get our alt season, hopefully. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.